Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be showing you the best PvE hunter build for endgame and even beginner game sort of activities. Whether it's a Grandmaster, raids, strikes, this build is absolutely insane for it all. But before I do start with today's video, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, drop a like on today's video. Let's try and aim for 100 likes on today's build. Like I said, please subscribe with them notifications turned on. We're so close to that 40k milestone, and I know with Lightfall coming we can definitely hit that, so stay tuned for that. But with that said, let's jump straight into today's video. Massive shout out to Blazing Boost for sponsoring today's video. It is coming to the end of the season and Lightfall is just around the corner, so if you're struggling to get any gear, make sure to check these guys out. They offer a Sherpa service. Plus with the Nightfall, the Grandmasters coming out, it's a really handy site to have if you guys are struggling. Not only that, it does have a Trustpilot of over 30,000 reviews with 5 stars. If you do use code Unstoppable at checkout, you will get a 5% discount. I'll also leave a link in the description that'll take you straight there. Right guys, so the build we are going for today is going to be a Night Stalker 1. Now for your abilities, what you're going to want to need is Gambler's Dodge. Obviously jump of your preference, Snare Bomb, make sure you do have that, and Vortex Grenade. Now for the aspects, a lot of people usually go for dodging makes you invisible, but trust me, do not use that for this build. Use Stylish Executioner. This is actually super good and it is a really underrated aspect. Now it says defeating a weakened, suppressed or volatile target grants invisibility and true sight. Not only that, after you perform a Stylish Execution, your next melee attack while invisible weakens targets. Now if you use this, it will actually sort of give your teammates sort of like a mini tether. It'll make sure all the sort of crits are hitting even if they are bodies, and to be honest, it's a really handy thing that not many people use. But not only that, you will be going invisible while doing this, which is what this build is all about. Now next we do have Trapper's Ambush. Your smoke bomb makes nearby allies invisible when it attaches to nearby services or target. And not only that, if you guys do slam to the floor near your teammates, all your teammates will gain invisibility. Now they won't have it for as long as you, but they will have it for a very long time. I'll show you how you can actually make this work in the end game super well. Next for the fragments, we have Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenade grants volatile rounds to your void weapons. Then we do have Echo of Persistence. Void buffs applied to you. Invisibility, Overshield and Devour have increased duration. Then we do have Finish Your Final Blows grant invisibility, which is just an extra thing to get pretty much invisibility. Now with this build, you pretty much can't die if you use it correctly. Honestly, I've tried to sort of use it as bad as I can and I can't seem to die. Even in the higher end activities, if you use it right, you won't die at all. And it's just handy to have, especially if you guys need to get them revives in the Grandmaster. You'll get them without even having a challenge. Now we can change this up if you guys are not using a void weapon to something else, like you can use a void ability, causes targets to explode with intellect. So it's totally up to you. Play around with this first one, but I would leave the second two as it is quite good, and make sure you are using these two right here. But moving on to the weapons, what we are using is Witherhoard, Ikelos and a sword. Now swords are really good DPS wise, and to be honest, I am using it because it's arc, and the build I've got is currently around about arc with getting sort of the wells with matching elements, so that is why we're using them. But like I said, the weapons are not the main attribute of this build, so if you want to use anything, you pretty much can just by changing the odd thing in the build. Now stats wise, I would recommend going for 100 resilience and 100 recovery if you can. Now for some reason my armor with this build is really bad. I need to sort of stock up on my armor. That's what I'd recommend if you guys can. Now some people may say use your strength for your melee so you can go invisible, but trust me, you do not need this. Even with what like 10 discipline tier 1, you're still going to be invisible all the time, so it's not going to affect it at all. So moving on to the helmet, what we do have is the Graviton Forfeit. So Vanishing Shadow increases the duration of any invisibility effects while you are invisible. Your melee recharges faster, your weapon reload, and you do have greater recovery. So for these mods, we do have Resilience mod, Hands-on, Arc Siphon, and Well of Striking. Now for the gauntlets, we are running Resilience, Overload. Obviously, if you guys that week are doing a Grandmaster and it's not Overload, pick and swap these weapons, but that's pretty self-explanatory. Fastball, Well of Irons. Now moving on to the chest piece, which is quite an important piece, we have Resilience mod, Energy Diffusion Substrate, so we do have a little bit more resilience, Arc Resistance for them arc enemies, and then this one right here, Striking Light, really underpowered or underrated, sorry. Perk, while charged with light, defeating competence with melee damage and sword spawns 1 orb of power for your allies and consumes 1 stack charged with light. Gain damage resistance against competence while sprinting. This is a big one, so make sure you do have that on for that extra resistance. Then for the legs, we do have Resilience mod, Sword Scavenger, Invigoration, and Seeking Wells. Now for the last one, what we are running is Resilience mod, Weaken Clear, Advanced Scout. But if you guys need to, you can obviously change it so that you will be able to get. So let's put that on with that. If you guys need to use that, become charged with light. If you're like myself and you are obviously running Striking Light, I would recommend using something like Counter Charge just to quickly get charged with light. So basically, if you're in a Grandmaster, whenever you are a Fireteam Sons of Champion, you're going to get that charged with light. So then you can synergize it with your sword. So make sure you do have that on. And you can pretty much run whatever one you want there. But that's a build. I'll show you how it works quickly with some gameplay of me just going invisible. All you have to do is sort of dive straight into the enemies and you'll have unlimited invisibility. And then for the gameplay after that, once you've seen how to use it effectively, I'll show you how I used it in a Grandmaster and how we completed it pretty easy. And not only that, if you guys are just running strikes, you can literally skip everything with this build. You and your teammates, you'll be able to make them invisible as well. So try this build out. It's a really fun, different way of playing the game. And with that said, leave a like, subscribe, and as always, I'll leave you with the gameplay and I'll catch you in the next one. So I thought I would just talk over the gameplay on how we actually beat this. Now I just want to say this was with a random fire team. Literally both of them was underpowered, and to be honest they did really well, but this build definitely helped. Now as you can see, all you want to be doing with this build is simply doing as much sort of distraction as you guys can possibly do. Now if you dodge near enemies, you will get your obviously your charge back, so you can go invis again. Now with the Grandmaster, it does have a debuff. Obviously it's not as fast to regen, so it's not completely unlimited on this activity. However, for all the other activities you're pretty much going to have it unlimitedly, but even for the Grandmaster it regens super quickly. And to be honest, all you want to do is simply slam into the boss so that it does weaken him, and then your teammates will be doing obviously crit damage. Now also there's a video clip I do want to show you where our teammate uses the finisher move perfectly. So on purpose what I did was I died so that you can see this move in action and see how you can cope just by using the finishers to actually do it. So there you go, I slam into him, and as you can see our teammate is going to show us how he actually used this invis, which I thought was really cool. So he's using his finishers to get along to us to actually get the revive. To be honest, it was in a very bad spot there, and that is something you can do with this build also, which is what I thought I would share with you. As you can see, he's just using it to his advantage, using the finisher to stay obviously invis, and then he got all the revives, which was a really good play. Now, to be honest, it is quite a hard Grandmaster this week, and this build definitely will help. Now, even on easier Grandmasters, it will be even better, but all you simply want to do is, like I said, keep slamming, dodge near enemies, and you will get it back. But like I said, it is got like a debuff this week, so you're not going to regen as fast as you would in a sort of normal Grandmaster without that debuff. And obviously if you're using it in any other in-game activity, it will be perfect. So you just slam, weakens the enemies. Your teammates can do obviously double crit, as you can see with Horde's hitting crits right there till it was immune. And then that is how you do it. Just rinse and repeat this method. We had no issue whatsoever with this Grandmaster at all, to be honest. Pretty easy with these builds. And as always, I will catch you in the next one.